All right, what's up, GITV? I have Sergeant Scott Graham here. He came in today to do a few public service announcements with us. Thanks for coming in, Scott.
No problem.
One thing that we wanted to talk to you a little bit about is your racing hobby. All right, because I think a lot of people think, oh, sheriffs, they're the guys that give me tickets, they're the bad guys, you know. They make me pay all these fines. But, you know, you guys are normal guys just like us, and you have hobbies just like we do. You know, Airsoft's a good hobby for us. Racing happens to be one of my hobbies as well, so that's why I'm pretty excited to be talking to you about this. Why don't you tell us what kind of racing you do? There's a lot of different types.
All right, there are a lot of different types. I specifically do drag racing.
Mm-hmm.
We have quite a large law enforcement team, all sworn officers that drive cars, variously from drag racing, off-road to sport bike racing,
Mm-hmm.
and road race cars.
From what I understand, the sheriff's department has the largest officer. What did you
That's
say?
correct. Los Angeles Sheriff's Department has the largest all law enforcement racing team in the world.
Cool. Very cool.
There's about 22 of us involved in this thing.
Excellent.
We have, I think, 8 different vehicles at this time,
Mm-hmm.
and more under construction.
And one of them's yours, right?
I actually have two
You
drag
have two?
cars. Yes, I have two 67 Plymouth Barracudas.
Okay.
It's a
So
lot
how
of
much
fun.
horsepower does your car have?
The current car that I'm driving this year is 712 horsepower, and then we add 175 shot of nitrous to it. So around 900 horsepower.
That's
It's
about
run a best of
that's about
8.9
9 times more than my car. That is crazy. How fast do your cars get to go?
It's run a best of 8.94 seconds at 148 miles an hour on the quarter
Holy
mile.
cow.
Now the other car we've torn apart under construction, it's anticipated to have 1,250 horsepower, naturally aspirated, and we're trying to run on a 10.5-inch slick.
Okay. So you have 10.5 inches of tire. That's
Correct.
what we're talking about, slicks. One aspect to racing that is kind of similar to Airsoft is that there's a lot of safety equipment that's involved. You know, obviously your cars have a lot of horsepower. It uses fuel that's not available commercially, that's very combustible, so you have a lot of fire-resistant materials. Obviously, you have to wear a helmet. So can we just kind of go over some of the
Sure.
stuff that you wear? I mean, just kind of
Now,
show people.
all these different associations that drag race all fall under, like the National Hot Rod Association, their safety guidelines. So the faster the car goes or the quicker it is, the more safety requirements are included in the car.
Okay.
The category I'm in, I'm required to have an SFI rated helmet,
Okay.
which is helmet
Neato.
with real fire flames. It's
Okay.
not ominous or anything like that, but real fire flames are kind of cool. Not that I want to be on fire.
So I know there's a couple of different types of racing helmets. Some of them are open-faced. Are you not allowed to use an open-face helmet, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter, but
Okay.
most racers have gone to a full face helmet.
Okay.
I mean, you want to keep something like this intact in case of an accident,
Especially you.
especially me.
Gotta take care of that mustache.
That's right. The mustache is very important.
I wish I could have one. I'm not trying to use it.
I won't even go there about driving. Anyway, the helmet's very important,
Uh-huh.
and you know, don't go cheap on your safety equipment because it's only you that you hurt when you cheap out on stuff.
That's kind of the same philosophy that applies to Airsoft too. If you cheap out on your safety equipment in Airsoft, you may end up not being safe at all.
That's correct.
Now,
This
I
is
mean-
a 3-layer fire jacket.
Mhm.
Because of the speeds that I go, I'm only required to have a 3-layer fire jacket.
Only?
Yeah.
How many
only.
layers are there? Just to give people a scope.
You know, I think there's 5 layers,
Mhm.
possibly 6. I'm not sure,
Wow.
but those things get really hot. I know
I'm sure.
that while you're sitting around waiting to make your 8 or 9 second run in 100-degree weather, it's not very comfortable. It's an excellent weight loss program, but it's not real comfortable.
So most of the tracks you go to are kind of out like in the desert. So it's kind of hot
well-
most of the time. Where have you gone racing recently?
Oh my gosh! Recently, I was in Bakersfield a couple weeks ago, and we got
That's where
rained
Bob's
out. We got
Rain?
rained out, but it was hot. Nice thunderstorms. Before that, we were in Vegas.
It's hot there.
I've taken my car to Western Canada twice. I was in Georgia last year, Tulsa last year, Texas, Florida, all over the place. Right. So you're
Now we should
covered.
kind of clarify for people that aren't familiar with, you know, the reason why you have to have fire stuff is that regular materials, like probably the shirt that I'm wearing, if it heats up, it's gonna melt on top of me, and so that's what the flame retardant SFI rated like fire stuff is made to do. So
Correct.
It doesn't melt and become like a heat shrink on
Well,
you.
even that, even if you don't want to wear polyester
Mhm.
underneath your fire suit too,
Oh, because
because
it'll
the
get
heat
too hot,
transfer
yeah.
still can melt.
Yeah,
This will keep you from burning.
of course.
It's kind of like in my job. I wear, you know, a bullet-resistant vest when I'm out in the field.
Mhm.
It won't stop a knife. A knife will cut right through that, but it'll stop a projectile, hopefully.
Hopefully.
And it's
So,
not the most
I've always
comfortable thing
wondered
to
if
wear.
Bulletproof vests stop knives, but I
They
guess
don't
not.
stop knives. They'll cut right through that
What
Kevlar.
if someone had like a bow and arrow? Probably not.
Probably go right through it.
Oh, okay. So it's just for
Depending on the tip, obviously.
Of course.
But you know, it's just like in anything in life. It's like when we go to the schools with our car, we talk about safety in different aspects and ask how many kids like to go on roller coasters. We all love it. There's safety precautions you take when going on a roller coaster so that you don't fly out or fall out and you can ride that roller coaster again.
Continue to enjoy it.
It's the same with drag racing. It's the same with airsoft. It's the same with going to the shooting range. There's safety requirements that are put in place for a reason.
So the laws are meant to keep us safe
That's correct.
and generate revenue.
Well, that's a side benefit.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming down. I think we've kind of hit the point here. Is, I mean, racing is very fun. You got to be safe while doing it. Same thing with airsoft. It's a very enjoyable hobby. As long as you stay safe, keep your guns in a proper gun bag as they're being transported, and don't take them out in public. And everyone can enjoy this game in the future.
Over the years, there's been a lot of guys that have either been accidentally killed because of carrying airsoft guns, or potentially could have been killed. And I've personally taken quite a few airsoft guns off guys walking down the street when it's been a man with a gun call that we've rolled to. So be careful.
Be careful. Scott, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate you taking the time.
No problem. I'm Sergeant Scott Graham from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I'm here to remind you to always wear eye protection when using your airsoft gun. Airsoft is a lot of fun, but it's not worth losing an eye.
All right, that's
Nice.
pretty good.
That was awesome.
Did you have a question or something?
Yeah, I did. You ever seen Fast and the Furious?
Yes.
Okay. Do you live your life a quarter mile at a time?
Only on weekends.
Okay. And
Actually, the first Fast and Furious,
Yeah.
the muscle car,
Uh-huh.
that is my race car. They paid me to mic up my car out at Agua Dulce Airport.
You.
Really?
You're kidding me.
Nope, it was awesome.
My roommates are gonna. Well, one of my roommates is probably gonna himself. That is awesome.
It was cool. Never heard about it, and like, we're doing this movie. I'm like, yeah, I'll come out. And they paid me $500 to come out for like an hour. And they put mics all over the car, inside and outside, and I made blasts up Agua Dulce Airport out in.
Yeah, that's where all
they
movie
they
ranges
just
are.
use your sound clip. They didn't use your
They didn't use
car.
my car, just the sound. Just
But
the sound.
That's really
still,
cool, though.
that's
That is super cool. We should have said that.
yeah. God. GITV uncut.
Yeah.
You can bleep me out.